Let's do it. Hello everyone and welcome to my update on the Morrowind patch notes. So this notes goes over some of the sets and a few incremental changes they've made on the PTS to the patch coming with Morrowind, obviously on the 6th of June. Don't panic, it's not the end of the world guys, it's a good patch, but please have some patience. We're going to read through the notes, we're going to see any of the changes they made. I've had a pre-read on a tiny bit of this and there's some really good stuff in here. I like some of the adjustments they've made. It's getting there slowly. I'm certain by the end of it they'll find a good balance, we'll see, but I think that people are panicking too early. I think you need patience with this sort of stuff. Hang in there. There's months to go. Well, not months, but a month and a half to go still. Plenty of time to, get used to the changes. Find the right point of the changes from a Zos point of view. No $ on the S. You don't need that. They're doing fine, I think. But let's do this. So we'll skip through all of this information. Don't need that. Battleground update. So this is just something about the PTS. Originally, they obviously only had Team Deathmatch. So now they have the... Sorry, they only had like Dominion or something. They have Capture the Flag and Team Deathmatch now, so if you queue in, you get the random game modes and all that. And the medals, that's just from a testing point of view, so that's not something I'm too fussed about for the time being. We'll see that when it comes live. We'll wait on for that. But this is where the interesting stuff comes in. So, new item sets. When I am going over these item sets, I'm going to give you an idea of where I think they could be interesting. And I'm going to give you an idea of problems and advantages of each set. So, I'll do as much as I can and give you as much of a breakdown on the sets as I can. Sets, something that I specialize in a lot. I really like to build pretty unique builds, and I'm going to think through it pretty careful. So, first one. War Maiden, that's an overland set, so that means it's farm basically, on the bosses and shit in Warden. Max health, max magic, spell damage. Great setup, already looking good. And then adds 400... Fuck. Yeah, boys. I'm coming back to that. Anyway, adds 400 spell damage to your magic damage abilities. So, I like this set for a lot of reasons. It's giving you a lot of base damage on your magic abilities. I wonder if it works on heal damage abilities, things like funnel health. Like, obviously it won't work on a heal because it's not a damage ability, but maybe things like funnel health, it might increase. If that's the case, it could be a pretty damn interesting set for Magic and Nightblade. It's giving you really high spell damage. It's light armor, which is nice in my opinion. I like to play the light armor's playstyle, but never know. It's a pretty good set in general. 400 spell damage. The reason I dislike this slightly is it obviously overwhelms all those sets like 400 spell damage on your distro and that sort of stuff. Those are no longer relevant sets. Forget about them. They're gone. So in that case, they're kind of giving things out. But there is a stamina version of this. The stats are good. Health, magic, spell damage, and that. I think you're going to see that a lot with Lich. If you see that one bar and Lich on the other bar, it's going to pair pretty damn good. I think that's a really nice set. Definitely going to pair well with Lich. 100% uptime on your damage abilities. It's going to hit really hard. So, yeah, that's going to be a set to look out for sure. Definer. I've heard about this one. This one's absurd. So, 2-piece weapon damage, 3-piece weapon crit, 4-piece weapon crit, because apparently Zenimax can't put a punctuation in. 5-piece. When you deal crit damage, you have an 8% chance to summon a hunger that spews poison to all the enemies in front of you, dealing 9999 poison damage and stunning enemy hit for 5 seconds. This effect can occur every 5 seconds. Right, that's OP as fuck, basically. If you want to put that in any possible sense, that is absolutely ridiculously OP. It is an 8% chance, but that is an insane burst of damage, and it is CCing. It looks like it's instant damage, not damage over time. It has a 5-second cooldown. The place where that is going to shine, and I think it's going to make some classes really strong, is Stamplar. That's going to be horrific. And also Stam Decay actually is going to do really good in that. The only thing about Stam Decay is weapon crit don't feed too well into your base passives, but I think that's getting changed anyways. It's not going to matter as much. That's going to be a really big set to look forward to on Stam Decay, Stamplar in particular. I guess Stam Sork, but not as much. Stamplar obviously has jabs. That's 4 or 5 hits coming in. Boom, 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 boom. Lots of proc chances as well as any dots. Stam Decay is a lot of dots, a lot of proc chances there, and it's hitting really hard and it's CCing. That's going to be a really OP set. I think that needs a small nerf. I really don't think the stun is even remotely called for. And to be honest, even the damage is pretty damn high. Yeah. The thing is, if you're running enough dots and then you're running something like jabs, you're going to be proccing that non-stop. If that's with like, I don't know, you imagine you've got injection up, you've got the crit rush dot up from the maelstroms, you've got, I don't know what other ones you have. Even the purify, if you run the damaging purify, it's a tiny dot, but it will proc it. So,
no!
Technically speaking.
Oh my God!
God, what fucking spastic!
What's that smell? Is something burning? Oh, it's just the dumpster fire that Zeus calls the Morrowind patch notes.
I'm coming back to it! I'm not reading it now. Alright, Warrior Poet, heavy. Max health, spell resist, physical resist, gain minor toughness. Oh my god. At all times, increasing your max health by 10%. Well, might be looking at that in sort of Blaze Plow builds, but it's not all health based. I guess it's going to be kind of a Warden-ish set. I know they get a lot of health passives, but I'm not too sure how it's going to work. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. Okay, crafted sets. That was the Overland set. So crafted sets, obviously crafted the crafted stations. Surprise, surprise. This is the ultimate cancer set of all time to ever exist in the game. If there was ever a set to be defined as AIDS on a plate, this is the one. So, Sigony Rejoice, Legendary Rage Rejoice. The set that you have been long awaiting has arrived. So this set gives spell crit, weapon crit, spell damage, weapon damage. No one cares about that. That doesn't matter. Because the reason is you're running that set because you're a piece of shit. The 5-piece. Increase the duration of your alchemical poisons by 4 seconds. Which means you can have almost, in fact you can have 100% uptime on cost increase. So Sigony Rejoice, Legendary Rage Rejoice, your set of choice has arrived. Cost poisons, prepare yourselves. I so hope that shit gets a nerf in terms of cost poisons. But the 5-piece set is pretty damn strong. It's dangerous. I don't know. Daedric Trickery. Max health, max stamina, max magicka. Okay, nice. When you're in combat, you gain one of the 5 random buffs. Let's have a look through these. Eligible buffs are, for 10 seconds every 20, so it's got 50% uptime. That's pretty good uptime. Expedition, that's movement speed, so I don't know if it's major. It is major, so that's going to give you 30% movement speed. Major Mending, that's 25% more healing. Major Heroism, I think that's free ultimate every second, but don't quote me on that. Major Vitality is 30% more healing received. Major Protection, 30% less damage taken. Those are all really good buffs. I think that set is going to be seriously strong, especially on a stamina class. To be honest, I can even see myself using that on a Nightblade. Pretty possible, I guess. The reason I like it on a Nightblade is the health, stamina, magicka, all points pretty important on a Stanblade. Imagine running something like that if you run it with dual wield. Just run it with dual wields on one bar, and 2 on the other bar. You run it one bard, and then you run it alongside. Because you can definitely run that on one bar. It's a major buff. The buff's going to proc. You could run that on one bar on dual wield, and then you could still run Bone Pirate. You'd be getting your max health up. You'd be getting stamina to increase your stats, and then you could still run your monster set. That's going to be really strong for Stam Nightblade. I can definitely see myself testing that set with Bone Pirate. I think that I'm likely to go dual wield with that. Bone Pirate dual wield. Bone Pirate, this on the dual bar and 4-piece on the 2 bar. And yeah, I like that set. I think that's a really good set, actually. And it's an interesting one. Shackle Breaker, weapon damage, spell damage, stamina recovery, magical recovery. Adds 2,000 max stamina and 2,000 max magicka. I think training at the moment is like 1,600 in each though, so would I ever run that over that? I don't know. It's not a bad set. That's a lot of nice stats on there. In terms of base stats, pretty interesting. It's weird that they make them all hybridy, though. I don't really understand that. Like, weapon damage, spell damage, stamina recovery, magic recovery. It's a bit strange. But getting the stamina and the magicka isn't so bad. I like the fact that it has both of them on there. It's just like you're kind of wasting out stats on your weapon damage buff. I mean, for something like a Magsork, stamina recovery isn't bad. Spell damage is great, magic recovery is great, and the stamina is even good, as well as the max magicka. It's nice there, but the weapon damage, it's a bit of a waste. I don't know, I'm interested to try that on a Magsork maybe, especially if you ran Dawnbreaker as your second ulti, you'd have the weapon damage on it, so it's not a complete waste. I can see myself trying it, but I don't know how it's going to fare. I think on a Magsork it could be interesting. Anything else, would I run that? Unlikely. I don't think it's going to pair in too well, but Magsork, maybe. Weapon damage at least helps your Dawnbreaker, so maybe, but we'll see. Battleground sets. Wizard's Riposte. Light. Max health, spell damage, magical recovery. So these are the sets actually from the battlegrounds, by the way, I guess rewards. When you take critical damage, you apply minor maim to your enemy for 15 seconds, reducing the damage. Yeah, I can't see myself running that too easy. It's very easy to get minor maim in other ways. I don't think I'm going to touch that one. I mean, it's not bad set bonuses, and if you can't get minor main elsewhere, it's alright, but like, you might as well just run Shadow Rend and get 100% uptime. Actually, it doesn't have a cooldown. When you take critical damage, you apply minor maim. Oh, 15 seconds. It's got no cooldown. That's going to have nearly 100% uptime, to be fair. It is going to have 100% uptime. It's got no cooldown. So actually that set's not as bad as the first thought. That's actually been really good on the Templar. I can definitely see myself running that on a Magicka Templar. Crit damage taken, you get minor maim, you're reducing your opponent's damage. I think that's going to open the chance to run light armor Magicka Templar a lot easier. I take it back on my first opinion. I think that's actually a good set. I like that. Nice thing I like. Magicka, spell damage, max health. Your fully charged heavy attacks against players deal an additional 10% on max health as Oblivion damage. So Oblivion is like Shield Breaker. That's a damage that can't be resisted by shields. It's pretty ugly. I mean, that's going to be really bad for Sorks, but I like that and the Sorks are really strong. Would I run it? Probably not. I mean, 10% of their max health. I don't know. I mean, in terms of like pairing that with Shield Breaker, it's okay, but that'd just be trolley. I mean, it's max Magicka and shit. I don't know if I'd run that. I know it's light armor. That's Wizard's Riposte, by the way. I'm saying from a light armor Templar could be interesting, but yeah, I don't think I'll be using Night Slayer. It's clunky, but it is a shield breakery set. If you want to fight a shield stacking target, it's going to be great. It is, however, only fully charged heavy attacks, so it's not as ridiculous as Shield Breaker. There's going to be a lot of counterplay to that. Not so bad. And that's fully charged, by the way, so you won't get that each tick of a lightning staff, I think, but you'd have to wait and see. Cowards. Max health, stamina recovery, stamina recovery. While sprinting, you gain major expedition and major protection, increasing your movement speed and reducing your damage taken by 30%. Definitely a fun set. What's that other set? Prisoner gives you it while sprinting. Gives you magical... I think it gives you 1k magical recovery while sprinting, right? I think this you don't recover stamina while sprinting, I think. I'm pretty sure you don't. So you'd have to cycle that and pair it. I don't want to judge on that set yet. I think it could have some uses. I mean, those are really strong buffs. Like, it's giving you 30% more movement speed, and it's giving you increased resistances. Stam Sork is going to be a great place for that set, I think. Like, max health not bad, stamina recovery, stamina recovery. That's going to open a lot of opportunities up for medium Stam Sork. Again, you could run it one Bard, so theoretically you could run one-hand shield and two-hander on a Stam Sork. Run that on the one-hand shield bar only, and again run Bone Pirate for that recovery. So that's going to be a great set. That plus Bone Pirate could be a really nasty sustain combo. And then the base damage of Sork is already pretty high, and you could just run some damage elsewhere, like weapon damage, glyphs, Vela Drift, that sort of shit. That's a pretty good set. Also good for scroll runners. Yeah, not a bad comment. Vanguard's Challenge, heavy. Health, healing taken. When you taunt an enemy player... Oh, this is a Zerg meta now. When you taunt an enemy player, they deal 50% less damage to all other players, but 100% more damage to 50 players. I mean, that's just a ridiculous set. That's just ludicrous. That should not be in the game. I gather they want to make tanks relevant in PvP, but... I mean, it's pretty ludicrous. Like, that's only going to feed Zerg PvP. If you think about it, you're going to have someone in your Zerg using that as an XV1er. You're going to see me on Malaria and you're going to be with 10 people. You're going to say, "Oi, Philip, go in there and taunt him, would you?" And then lo and behold, I can't even kill the DPSers. I have to physically kill the tank. I guess he's taking 100% more damage, but if he's a Blazing Shield player, what am I going to do against that? I mean, you could just run Blazing Shield and Inner Fire or Ransack or some shit. So, I don't like that set. I hope that gets changed. I don't know if it's going to, but pretty ridiculous set. Anyway, Impregnable Armor. This is a really strong set. I've seen this one. Imagine pairing this with Transmutation. You're obviously not going to get your damage, but in terms of sustain, really nasty. Survivability, sorry. Max health, max stamina, max magicka. It's all types, light, heavy, and medium. But then it's giving 2,500 crit resist. No adjustments needed. You've got to double bar that, but that is some seriously strong business. That's a nasty, nasty set. I mean, that's more than full impen these days. I think that full impen is 250 a piece. You can get 7 of that, so that's what? 1,750. The cap on the CP is 1,650. That's a pretty good set. Yeah, Magicka DK. I mean, if Magicka DK could sustain, it would be nice. I think that there's going to be better ways to run it on a Magicka DK, but maybe if you're going to go light armor, this could make Magicka DK a very interesting set. I think that from a light armor Magicka DK point of view, that's a very cool set. From a heavy and medium, not so sure, but in light armor, that's a very cool set. Imagine running this. In fact, this might even be used by me, thinking about this. What if you ran, like, Impregnable Armor in light? Run it all in sturdy. You've already got your crit resist up. You're going to be able to block in light armor. Impregnable Armor in light armor is going to give you a crit resist naturally. Really good block ability. That's a pretty strong set. I don't think you're going to get away with it running in heavy next patch, at least in battlegrounds, because in battlegrounds you've got no CP and you've got the changes in sustain. But that's a pretty damn good set. I'm definitely going to be looking at that set. That's a really strong set. I think that's almost going to be my first go-to for Magicka DK. I would like to try that in light armor at some point. But I've already got a setup I'm liking on Magicka DK at the moment. Well, on stream a bit. You might have seen it recently. I don't know. But that's a great set. I like that. Definitely going to get some business out of that. Okay, trial sets. I've already heard about these. Inventor's Guard. Magic recovery. Gain mana Aegis at all times. Increasing trial damage. Healing done. When using ultimate ability... so it's like a healing set, basically. Ultimate ability, you and your closest two allies gain 28 meters, gain minor Aegis. So it's a nice support set if you want to increase your group's DPS. Is it going to outweigh things like Spell Power Cure? Wait and see job, basically. But it's a big buff. It's just it's only 2 players. I wonder if you can cap at 2. Like, can you proc it multiple times? So, imagine I was using a really cheap ultimate like Overload. Could I buff my whole group by just spamming Overloads? I don't know. Hard to say. Would it be worth it? I don't know. But maybe if you had someone running like an elegant Overload build, it could be an interesting way to go. But I guess you'd be running a different set. I think the other ones do the same. Max Magicka Spell. Yeah, so you'd run this one. If you're going to do something like Overload to buff your PvE damage, I guess this set would work. You could also use that on a Magicka Nightblade. Obviously, Assassin's pretty cheap. That's pretty interesting. Definitely a set to look out for, I think. Not too bad at all. War Machine, max stamina, gain minor Aegis at all times, increasing your damage done to dungeon and trial monsters. So that's the same for stamina, and I think that's the same for tank. Yeah, so it's all basically the same principle on those tank abilities. So that is all of those. This is all PTS information. Not too interested in that. Not too interested in that. Crown Stalk, go fuck yourself. Battlegrounds, not interested in that. Nor that, nor that, nor that. Nor that. Alright, so this is the nerfs to Warden. Prepare your anuses. Some of it's pretty good. Savage Beast. This ability now generates ultimate when you cast an animal companion ability instead of when you damage with that. That's not great. That's a tiny buff, but not too much. It's going to give you a bit more ulti regen. I don't know how much ulti regen it gives in the first place. Basically, it's just going to make it a bit more reliable to get ulti. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to say in their notes. Yeah, more reliable. There you go. Pretty much the same words. I mean, I don't really care about that, to be honest. Not too fussed about that. Green Balance, Accelerated Growth. This ability now grants you major mending when you heal an ally who has below 40% health. And the duration has been reduced to 1.5 and 3 seconds. I like that a lot. That's really lowering major mending uptime. 1.5 to 3 seconds. So 3 seconds at the max level. That's not a lot of major uptime. You're going to get one cast. I like the change. I like that a lot. So they've reduced the major uptime big time on the Templar. Sorry, on the Warden. I love that. I really do. Major mending is too strong a passive to have there. I like that they've nerfed that down a lot. It's going to be easier to proc than any of the other classes, I would imagine. But do I like the change? Definitely. 1.5, 3 seconds. So 3 seconds fully leveled. That's not that much. That's pretty good change. I like that a lot. Maturation. Reduce the duration of minor toughness buff applied by this passive ability to 5/10 seconds, down from 10 to 20. Minor toughness, I think, is 15% less damage. So again, good change. They're lowering the tank ability of it. Yeah, good change. I don't know what they're going to say. Procs of any healing rather than the green balance due to Wardens lacking a large amount of global passives. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I like that, though. That's reducing tank ability of the Warden. Nice little nerf there. I like that a lot. Sleet Storm. Your camera will no longer tilt when you cast this ultimate. No one really cares about that, do they? That's something about killing a pigeon. No one really cares about that. That's dungeons. We'll work those out in time. Work those out in time. Shit, I just saw that. Morrowind Master Angler. God damn it, I got a fish again. Furnishings. Oh my god, no one cares about that either. No one cares about that. No one cares about that. It's quests. That's not interesting. That's not interesting. That's not interesting. That shit. That shit. That shit. Nightblade. That's more like it. Oh, what's this? A new... Nightblade. Shadow Barrier. I read this change. This is a brilliant change, and a lot of people don't realize this. Shadow Barrier. Increase the passive ability's base duration of Major Ward and Major Resolve to 3 to 6 seconds from 2 to 4 seconds. That's a fantastic change. That's been needed for a long time. So that's your major resistances. The only way to proc major resistances on a Templar, sorry, on a Nightblade, is to cast a Shadow skill. What does that mean? I can cast a Fear every 6 seconds and guarantee my proc. So if I'm only running Fear as a Shadow skill, I'm still getting 100% uptime on resistances, which is good, because other classes have by skill, they can control that uptime a bit more. I shouldn't have to spam it every 4 seconds. I like that change a lot. Siphoning. Siphoning strikes. Fix an issue where the heal from this could not critically strike. Good change. What I've heard, that heal is really, really strong. I have no idea if that's the case. I've not tested it, and I'm probably not allowed to say it. But that's a pretty good change. That's a nice little buff. If it can crit heal, that's essentially 50% more healing. 50% of the time. So you're getting 25% more healing from that skill by that change. I like that. From what I've heard, it's a good heal. Obviously, it's a bit of a nerf on the siphoning and shit. But, yeah. We're talking from a magic point of view. Obviously, yeah, you're right. The surprise stat could proc this one. But from a magic and Nightblade point of view, your real only reliable proc are Image and Fear. I mean, it's not that great. So, Fear being able to proc that is good. If you just CC on cooldown, you're going to be able to proc that. Anyway, Templar. Spear Swords. That's just some bullshit. They haven't actually fixed the CC. It needs a CC. Why did they take the CC away from that? I don't know. It's... like, not taking the CC away from that is just so ridiculous. I don't know. The synergy from this ability and its morphs now restores magical stamina based on whichever has the highest maximum instead of whichever has the largest missing percentage. I mean, I don't really know what that means from a point of view. I don't think it changes anything. Like, why would you ever not have your max pool as your key pool? I don't know. I don't know if that affects tanks at all, but I don't know why they took that away. I don't know. Weapon, two-handed. Critical rush. Fix an issue where this morph was not increasing damage based on distance traveled. Oh. So the whole time that people have been saying, go crit rush, it increases your damage. You've been talking wrong. It actually doesn't. I'll read the spoiler saying why. Based on initial PTS feedback, we've changed the magical stamina the synergy gives you as well as the necrotic orb to always restore the resource you have the highest maximum, so it's always more consistent and reliable for your build type. It kills magic tanks. Oh yeah, they're getting dicked. Imagine being a magic tank. You need stamina back as a magic tank, right? You need stamina back as a magic tank. You got to block. You're like, yeah, shard please, mate. Oh, shit, it's only giving me magicka. What? Dude, the magicka tank can't block. Well, it looks like it's stamina tank meta, boys. I didn't realise that. That's ridiculous. Yeah, you won't be able to tank on a magicka class anymore unless you can do it without blocking. Good luck not blocking against more of the lockage. Unless you go with the good old classic ice staff, you know? Oh my god. Crazy. Fix an issue, it was not increasing its stun length based on distance travelled. I didn't even know it did that, to be honest. Pounce. Oh dear. Fix an issue where its ability its morphs were not applying the charge snare. I think there's enough snares. Shame they buffed that one. Necrotic Orb, I think that's the same as shards. We won't look at that. That's passives and shit. Don't really care about that. They fixed the bug here. Master Arms. It was increasing all damage done, not just direct damage. So direct damage is like instant damage, not dots and that sort of shit. I like that they've changed that a bit. Still a pretty damn strong passive. Why did anyone care about Assassin Beetle? Alchemy. Nothing about poison nerfs. Where's my poison nerf game? Come on. Personality. Item sets. Prepare yourselves to rejoice. There's the greatest nerf in Zenimax history coming up in the next 5 seconds. Soulshine. Fix an issue where this item set was not granting spell damage to Drain Essence and its morphs. Like, literally, who the hell cares if Drain Essence is getting more damage? If anyone actually care about that, you're doing something seriously wrong with your PvP career. So we're just going to pretend that's not there. But this one here, Tumor Scale, reduce the duration of the snare applied by this item to 4 seconds from 6. I can't even read it. From 8 seconds. Rejoice! The Tumor Scalers only have 50% snare uptime. It's now only bullshit, not ridiculously bullshit. Oh yes. That's what we like to see. Spoiler. Makes it more difficult to maintain 100% uptime. Well, they're just going to cast another snare, but still, good. Nice job, Zenimax. Keep nerfing it, but not bad. Gives that target more counterplay to avoid locked down by it. I mean, not really. It's still 4 second snare, but it helps a bit, I guess. That's absolute shit. That's shit. That's shit. General, battlegrounds. It's just bug patches. Ground store, gamepad, gameplay. Looks like that's it. So, good. Warden is nerfed. Happy days. It's not quite as ridiculous as it was. I like that. Major Menning. Big hit on Major Menning. That healing is not big. People are going to say it still has a reliable way to proc it, but 3 seconds, not long. Good. Tumor scale nerf, good. Nightblade skills getting a semi-buff in that their skill's going to work properly. I'll let them off. Nothing on the DK, unfortunate, but I think people are over-exaggerating how bad the DK situation is. I will prove that in the next patch. Promise you I will make some good builds there. I think it's going to be fine, especially with the change in the meta. Sork, no changes there.